We're taught to build stability, to find our place, stay put, and protect it. But what if real stability doesn't come from standing still? What if it comes from movement, from the willingness to keep exploring when others settle? The nomadic mindset isn't about travel, it's about trust. Trusting your ability to adapt, to rebuild, to reinvent. Because life will always shift. And those who thrive aren't the ones who cling the hardest. They're the ones who stay curious the longest. Every change, every loss, every new beginning, it's not pulling you off your path. It is the path. And once you understand that, movement stops being chaos. It becomes identity. You don't just live life. You move through it, becoming more with every step. The nomadic mindset. It's more than a lifestyle, it's a way of thinking. To live with a nomadic mindset means to trade certainty for curiosity, comfort for courage. It's about staying open when the path shifts and trusting your ability to adapt, rebuild, and keep moving forward. Because life isn't meant to be settled, it's meant to be explored. Curiosity as a compass. Curiosity drives the nomadic mindset. It pushes you to look beyond the familiar, beyond the walls you've built around yourself. It means asking questions, challenging assumptions, and seeking to understand the world on your own terms. Routines and habits might keep you comfortable, but they don't always help you grow. Curiosity breaks that cycle. It doesn't require physical movement, it requires movement of thought. You start asking, why do I think this way? Why does my culture approach problems this way? What can I learn from someone whose experience is completely different from mine? These questions open doors. They create discomfort, but the right kind of discomfort, the kind that pushes you forward. And that discomfort is the doorway to growth. Being curious also means being willing to be wrong. It means setting aside ego and embracing the fact that you do not have all the answers. That's difficult. It takes courage to acknowledge ignorance, especially in a society that rewards certainty and authority. But curiosity is nothing without courage. It's easy to ask questions in private or in safe spaces. It's hard to ask them where the stakes are high, where answers might challenge your identity or your beliefs. Courage as the engine. Courage fuels the nomadic mindset. It's not an absence of fear, it's acting in spite of fear. You will encounter situations where your instincts scream to stop, to turn back, to protect yourself from embarrassment or failure. That is when courage matters most. Courage pushes you to step into the unknown, to confront people who challenge you, to take risks that might fail. When you decide to leave stability for growth, doubt will flood your mind. People may warn you that you're making a mistake, but moving forward anyway requires courage. It requires trust in yourself. It requires the belief that the discomfort you feel isn't a signal to retreat, but rather a signal to engage. And sometimes, courage means tuning out the voices around you. Not everyone will understand your path, and many will project their own fears onto your decisions. Their caution often comes from a place of love, but it can also come from their own unresolved doubts. Curiosity shows you the possibilities. Courage allows you to pursue them. Without curiosity, courage lacks direction. Without courage, curiosity never leaves the theoretical. Together, they form a mindset that thrives on exploration, adapts to change, and finds opportunities where others see obstacles. Courage calibration, acting despite fear. Curiosity without courage leads nowhere. Questions show you what's possible, but courage is what makes you step into it. Courage doesn't erase fear. It lets you move with fear in your pocket. Think about the nomad leaving camp. They don't know if there's water past the horizon. Fear says, stay where it's safe. Courage says, the tribe needs us to move. List 3 fears that regularly stop you. Public speaking, failing, starting a new project. For each one, ask, what's the smallest action I can take that proves I can act with this fear beside me? Courage calibration tool. Low risk, send an email you've been avoiding. Medium risk, share an idea in a meeting. High risk, say yes to a project where you don't feel fully ready. Notice how fear shifts once you take one step. Courage is never about the absence of fear. It's about refusing to let fear set your limits. The practice of observation. A key element of the nomadic mindset is observation. To move through life with curiosity and courage, you must see the world as it is, not as you imagine it to be. Observation isn't passive. It's active, disciplined, and deliberate. It requires slowing down, paying attention, and noticing the nuances that others overlook. When you begin practicing observation, you realize how much you may have been missing. You walk through cities without noticing the rhythms, the subtle interactions, the daily patterns that reveal human nature. Observation changes that. It makes you more empathetic. It sharpens your adaptability. And it builds confidence to move through uncertainty because you're learning how the world works in real time. Observation also strengthens curiosity. The more you notice, the more questions arise. Why do people behave this way? Why do cultures develop certain customs? What motivates decisions that seem irrational at first glance? Curiosity is amplified by attentive observation, and courage becomes informed rather than reckless. Adaptation as a lifestyle. The nomadic mindset isn't about occasional exploration, it's a lifestyle. It's about treating life itself as a journey of movement and learning. It's about letting go of attachment to outcomes and embracing adaptation as a constant. Adaptation requires humility. You will encounter situations where your knowledge, your skills, or your expectations are insufficient. You will fail, you will be challenged, and you will have to adjust. Those who resist adaptation become stagnant. Those who embrace it thrive. The more you live with a nomadic mindset, the less you fear change. You begin to approach transitions as opportunities rather than threats. Job changes, relocations, cultural shifts, and even personal conflicts become lessons in resilience and growth. Adaptation isn't surrender, it's empowerment. It allows you to respond instead of react and to act instead of freeze. Curiosity in action. Living with curiosity means seeking experiences that expand your understanding. It doesn't have to be grand. You can practice curiosity in small, intentional ways every day. Talk to someone from a different background. Read books outside your usual interests. Try a new activity that intimidates you. Ask questions without expecting approval. When you deliberately engage with someone whose worldview is completely different from yours, you may expect confrontation or dismissal. Instead, what often emerges is something valuable insight into perspective and communication. These interactions reshape the way you approach disagreements. They make you more open, strengthen your adaptability, and help you handle new situations with clarity. Daily practices. Curiosity check-in. Write down one fresh question each morning. Courage move. Take one small action that feels uncomfortable. Observation pause. Spend 5 minutes noticing your surroundings without distraction. Adaptation scan. At the end of the day, ask, where did I resist change today? How can I be more fluid tomorrow? The intersection of curiosity and courage. The magic of the nomadic mindset lies in the intersection of curiosity and courage. Curiosity draws you into the unknown. Courage propels you through it. One without the other falls short. Curiosity without courage is idle speculation. Courage without curiosity risks reckless action. Together, they create a powerful force for living fully, for experiencing life expansively, and for building adaptability in all areas. You'll notice this dynamic repeat itself. When you approach a situation with curiosity first, you uncover what's necessary. Then, by applying courage, you move through discomfort intentionally rather than blindly. The outcome isn't always comfortable, but it is transformative, and it always leads to growth. By the way, if these ideas are resonating, I've put together a free resource to help you go even deeper. It's a set of ebook summaries that give you a quick, powerful overview of the core ideas from my books, plus practical prompts you can start using right away. You can grab your free copy through the link in the description. It's my gift to help you start rewriting your story today. The nomadic mindset beyond travel. Many associate nomadism with physical movement, living in different cities, traveling to distant lands, or relocating frequently. While that is one form, the nomadic mindset is bigger. It's about movement of thought, flexibility of identity, and openness to experience. You can live nomadically while rooted in one place. You can challenge yourself mentally, emotionally, and socially without boarding a plane. And you can also do both, explore the world physically and stretch yourself internally. The nomadic mindset isn't about geography, it's about intention. It's about choosing growth over comfort, movement over stagnation, and curiosity over certainty. Practical steps to develop the nomadic mindset. Seek new experiences regularly, even small ones. Ask questions without fear of judgment. Face minor discomforts intentionally to build courage. Reflect on successes, failures, and lessons learned. Observe the world with attentiveness and an open mind. Adapt to changing circumstances rather than resisting them. Cultivate curiosity about people, cultures, and ideas beyond your current perspective. Make decisions aligned with growth, not comfort. Reframe uncertainty as possibility, not threat. Practice presence, being fully engaged in unfamiliar moments. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking. You don't need a passport to begin, you just need a willingness to explore. The journey begins now, and the beauty is every step counts. Even the smallest shift in perspective can lead to the most profound transformation. You have the tools, you have the mindset. All that remains is to act. The world is waiting. The nomadic mindset teaches us how to move through life with curiosity and courage. But movement isn't just something we do. Over time, it becomes something we are. Because every time you choose to adapt, you reshape the story you tell about yourself. You stop asking, "Where do I belong?" and start realizing, "I belong wherever I'm becoming." That's where the journey turns inward. That's where movement becomes identity. Identity in motion. Identity is often treated like a fixed label, something you define once and then carry for the rest of your life. People ask, "Who are you?" as if there's a single answer carved in stone, but identity is not static. It shifts, grows, and adapts as you move through life. Every change in your environment, every challenge you take on, every risk you face, pushes you into becoming someone different. Movement as a teacher. Movement isn't limited to travel or physical exercise. Movement means shifting from one stage of life to another, taking a step into unfamiliar territory, or pushing past an old comfort zone. Movement is motion toward growth. Think about the moments that shaped you most. They weren't the times you sat comfortably in routine. They were the moments you were forced into change, moving to a new city, starting a new job, ending a relationship, or stepping onto unfamiliar ground. Comfort keeps you where you are. Movement takes you where you're meant to go. So lean into the unknown, step into the stretch. Chase the version of you that only reveals itself when you move. The role of discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable because it asks you to leave behind the identity you've known. For many people, that's terrifying. You've built stories about who you are, stories reinforced by your environment, by the people around you, by your own habits. Movement disrupts that story. Maybe you've called yourself shy, but moving into a new space forces you to speak up. Maybe you've labeled yourself weak, but moving into a challenge reveals strength you didn't know was there. So when discomfort shows up, don't retreat, lean in. It's not a warning sign, it's a doorway. It means you're on the edge of expansion. It means you're alive in the process of becoming. Let discomfort guide you, stretch you, and shape you. Because the version of you that's waiting on the other side isn't smaller, it's more. Identity through travel. Physical movement, such as travel, has always been one of the clearest mirrors of identity. When you leave familiar ground, you are forced to see yourself outside of the context that shaped you. Suddenly, your habits, values, and beliefs aren't backed by the culture that created them. You stand as yourself, without the reinforcement of your surroundings. Travel doesn't just change what you see, it changes how you see yourself. It reveals your edges. It forces you to ask, who am I outside of what's familiar? That question is uncomfortable, but it's also liberating. It frees you from the illusion that identity is fixed by where you come from. Movement through seasons of life. You don't need to cross oceans to experience movement. Life itself is built on transitions. Leaving school, entering the workforce, becoming a parent, losing someone you love, aging into a new stage of life. Each transition is a movement. You are not meant to be one thing forever. Movement reminds you that identity is layered. Each season calls for a different version of you. Holding on to the past only keeps you from becoming who you're supposed to be now. The seasons of life don't ask for consistency, they ask for courage. Courage to evolve, to release, to reimagine. Courage to become. Movement as a teacher, lessons from change. Change is uncomfortable, but it's also the greatest teacher. Movement forces you to adapt. When you move into a new role, city, or relationship, you're asked to learn new ways of being. Every shift carries lessons. Resilience when you fall and have to get up again. Humility when you realize you don't know everything. Patience when progress feels slow. Flexibility when life doesn't go as planned. Identity is built on these lessons. You don't just read them, you live them. Exercise, the invitation to grow. Pick one situation that makes you uncomfortable, but isn't unsafe. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting, trying a new skill, or reaching out to someone new. Write down what feels uncomfortable about it. Then ask yourself, what if this feeling isn't fear, but an invitation to grow? Act on it this week. Pay attention to what shifts inside you, how you think, how you respond, how you see yourself. And when you do, share it in the comments. What did you choose, and what did you discover about yourself through it? The power of reinvention. Movement gives you permission to reinvent yourself. Reinvention doesn't mean betraying your past, it means honoring the fact that you've grown beyond it. Every reinvention is a step toward authenticity, not away from it. Reinvention is not a rejection, it's a renewal. It's the moment you choose to live forward, not backward. It's the quiet decision to trust your evolution, even when the path ahead is unclear. Reinvention whispers, you are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow, you are allowed to become. So let the world shift beneath your feet. Let the titles change, the industries evolve, the roles dissolve and reappear. You are not here to stay the same. You are here to become. Movement as resistance to labels. One of the most dangerous traps in life is letting others define you. Society loves labels. Your job title, your background, your race, your gender, your age. These labels can become cages if you accept them as the full story of who you are. Every move you make, every new experience adds dimension to who you are. The moment you accept movement as part of identity, you stop living inside the boxes others create for you. Labels may describe a moment, but movement tells the story. Each time you move, you rewrite the narrative others tried to write for you. You become the author, not the subject. Movement is your refusal to be simplified. It's your declaration, I am becoming and I will not be boxed. So ask yourself, what label have you outgrown? What story are you ready to rewrite? Movement isn't just about where you go, it's about who you dare to become. Reinvention and labels, writing your own story. People love labels. You've probably been called the quiet one, the funny one, the strong one. These labels can shape how you see yourself and trap you. Movement gives you permission to reinvent yourself. You don't have to live under labels someone else gave you. You can step into new roles and rewrite your own story. Identity isn't one thing forever, it's chapters of becoming. And you're the author. Here is an exercise that will help you. On one page, list the labels you've carried. Circle the ones you want to release. On another page, write the identity story you'd rather live in words that feel alive to you now. Identity is a process, not a destination. The most liberating truth about identity is that it's never finished. You don't arrive at some final version of yourself and stay there. You are always becoming. Movement is what keeps identity alive. The moment you stop moving, you stop growing. That doesn't mean you need constant upheaval or chaos. It means you need to remain open to change, to allow yourself to be shaped by motion. Identity in motion is not about abandoning who you are. It's about staying in the process of becoming. It's about knowing that every step you take is part of the unfolding story of you. You are not a fixed point, you are a living trajectory. To move is to declare, I am not finished. I am not confined. I am alive. Your body leads, your identity follows. And with every step, you become more of who you truly are. Things to keep in mind. When you look back at your own life, notice how movement has shaped you. Notice the times you were forced into change and how those moments revealed strength, resilience, or creativity you didn't know you had. Think of the times you moved into a new job, a new city, a new phase of life, and how those movements redefined who you were. Even the painful shifts, the ones you resisted at first, carried you forward. You may not have realized it at the time, but every movement has been sculpting your identity. The person you are today is not an accident. It's the result of all the times you moved. So pause, breathe, look at where you are now, not as a final destination, but as a snapshot in motion. You've moved through storms, through silence, through reinvention, and you're still moving. That's not just survival, that's becoming. If this video connected with you, I want to invite you to explore my book, The Strength to Adapt: How the Nomadic Mindset Unlocks a Life of Adventure, and its companion workbook. You'll find them linked in the description. Inside, you'll find the tools, insights, and practices to help you live with curiosity, move through change with courage, and keep evolving no matter where life takes you. Carry this with you. Adaptation isn't a backup plan, it's your greatest strength. And the life you're meant for is already waiting on the other side of resistance. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.